I shared these words of farewell for Father Louis after our outdoor vigil on Saturday evening, and today I wanted to share them with all of you, parishioners near and friends and visitors throughout the diocese, to honor Father's time with us. Do I look taller? Like I've grown in the past year? Father Louis would say that it's just an illusion that I look taller because I've been standing next to him more often. I am, alas, still the same height that I was when Father Louis arrived 1 year ago. But thanks to Father Louis's spirit-inspired example, I have grown. It's just that the growing has happened on the inside where you can't see it, but where it really counts. In the book of Kings, while sojourning on Mount Horeb, the prophet Elijah hears that the Lord will be passing by. A mighty wind, an earthquake, and a devouring fire ensue, but the Lord, he knows, is not in those events. Then he hears a tiny whispering sound, and he knows that the true God is about to speak. Small things can be mighty. Some examples of small but mighty: ants, tugboats, seeds, hobbits, one of my personal favorites, Zacchaeus the tax collector, who was so short that he had to climb a sycamore tree so that he could catch a glimpse of Jesus as he passed through town, and then he won the honor of Jesus as a guest at his dinner table and a life-changing conversion of heart. And St. Teresa of Calcutta, otherwise known as Mother Teresa, who, despite facing seemingly unending obstacles in her mission to serve the poor, built a religious order that began with 12 companions and has grown to over 5,000 sisters, brothers, priests, and lay missionaries in 139 countries. In Father Louis, our parish has realized a living and daily example of small but mighty. Father often jokingly refers to his small stature, but when you spend any amount of time in his presence, what impresses you most is the giant size of his heart and soul. During the past year, Father Louis has laughed with us, and oh, what a hearty laugh it is. Cried with us, celebrated with us, worked with us, prayed with and for us, and, most importantly, has helped us to grow in our devotion to Jesus and Mary and all the saints. Through his homilies, he has taught us how to anchor our lives in Jesus Christ, to point our compass toward God, and to think and act in ways that reflect the Eucharist which we receive. He has shepherded us through the wages of the COVID-19 pandemic, lifting us up from afar with words of encouragement as we all struggle to find our way in a new world of uncertainty and fear, quarantine and face masks. He didn't miss a beat in bringing Mass into our living rooms when we couldn't be together physically as a parish community. In the true spirit of one of his heroes of faith, the Venerable Archbishop Fulton J. Sheen, he brought faith through the airwaves using the modern media platform of YouTube, establishing his Godcast channel to deliver not only Masses, but also his Making Space for Grace segments. Perhaps most importantly and most emphatically, he has reminded us all at every opportunity that we are saints in the making. This phrase, whenever I hear it, causes me to sit up and take notice, to even squirm a little. It is a wake-up call to put aside frivolous things and worldly ways and to live up to the call that Christ makes to my heart, to every heart, the call to go and make disciples by living by his precepts and sharing the good news of his kingdom with all whom we meet. As God's priest and prophet, Father Louis never leads us to believe that this call is meant just for the ordained. Instead, he uses the gifts he has been given to remind us that this call to become saints is a call which is meant for each and every one of us. In her life as a Carmelite nun, Saint Therese of Lisieux discovered the little way, seeking sanctity in everyday life by doing small things with great love. Father Louis truly lives this little way. He is the real deal. He not only talks the talk, but he walks the walk. He has been a personal inspiration to me, and I know to all of you. He might be short, but he daily stands on the shoulders of giants, most especially Jesus Christ, the giantest of all, and that makes him one of the tallest people I know and a true saint in the making. And Father Louis leaves behind a tall order. to fill the big shoes of this humble man with a huge heart and an even bigger soul, who, without his even knowing it, started a pandemic of his own right here in Ridgely. His contagion is joy, rooted in Jesus Christ. Father Lewis has shared that when he realized how powerfully his zeal for the French language had impacted his high school French students, causing all of them to either major or minor in French in college, he wondered, upon hearing a call from God to become a priest, if his zeal for Christ could have the same effect on God's people. Well, I say, wonder no more. It can, and it has, and it will. Through his daily example and reminders, we have all become more energized with the zeal of saints in the making. From henceforth, I shall dub him Le Petit Central. That's just the French way of saying small but mighty. We'll miss you, Father, and we know that you are taking us with you in your hearts. Godspeed.